So again, welcome and thank you for joining us this morning for our professional learning session, Exploring My Texas Future in Applied Texas. For those of you that just joined us, please again say hi in the group. We always love to see who's joining us and where you're from, what your role is, and your name. And so we are excited to share with you guys this morning all about a new digital tool that enables students and adult learners to explore careers, identify in-demand occupations in their regions, and directly connect with institutions of higher education for advising. So our session today is going to introduce you to this tool, My Texas Future, as well as briefly go over Apply Texas and how these two resources will soon be integrated. I'd like to briefly introduce our fabulous dedicated team and your hosts for the professional learning series and coffee chats. So we have our leader, Laura Guggen. She's our director of professional learning and engagement. And my name is Andrea Panter. I am the senior network coordinator and have the privilege to work alongside with Lauren Disher, our professional learning coordinator, and Jared Garza, our network marketing coordinator. We also have two amazing guest speakers today joining us, and I'll allow them to introduce themselves.
Thank you, Andrea. Hi, everyone. I'm Molly Gully. I'm the Senior Director of Advising Strategy here at Texas OnCourse. Thanks for having me here today.
Hello, everyone. I'm Claudette Jinks, Director of Strategic Advising Initiatives and Partnerships. And thanks to everyone for having me today.
Awesome. So personally, I love an agenda. So just want to give you guys an idea of what we're going to cover today. So welcome and overview. We're going to talk a little bit about Texas OnCourse, and then we're going to move into My Texas Future. Molly will share with you guys highlights of My Texas Future and some of the key features, as well as then Claudette will share a little bit about the timeline of Apply Texas and the integration with My Texas Future. And then Lauren's going to share some bright ideas that we received from you all. So thank you so much for that. We really appreciate your feedback. And then we'll move into our Academy Spotlight and follow up with a Q&A session. And so you can definitely use that Q&A option as we're going through. Please put your questions in there so that we're able to capture all of those. It's easier than the chat. So as we're going through, if you have any questions, please drop those into the Q&A. And so before we get started, I want to just give you guys a little bit about Texas OnCourse. So our mission at Texas OnCourse is to provide advising professionals with the resources and community they need to deliver exceptional college and career advising to every student. So all of the materials that we produce, all of the trainings that Texas OnCourse hosts, we always begin with this end in mind, that the work that we're doing is to help our students with a valuable plan after high school, right? So that is our mission. That's what we're here to do. We are a state-funded initiative designed to improve college and career advising and readiness across the state. And we also provide a lot of resources for our students and their families. So today we're excited to introduce you all to My Texas Future. This tool was created to support our youth, students in middle and high school trying to navigate their future paths, as well as support our adult learners that may be returning to school or transitioning between careers. So I'm going to launch a brief poll really quick just to kind of see how you guys are feeling with My Texas Future. How much experience do you already have with My Texas Future? I know it's very fresh, so I'm sure a lot of beginners, and that's okay. But maybe some of you guys already are familiar with My Texas Future. So we just always like to just gauge where our audience is at. So can you guys all see the poll? Okay. And I went ahead and put in the question for Apply Texas as well, which we'll get to later with Claudette, but you can answer both of those now. So we have a lot of beginners with My Texas Future and some average. And we've got some experienced with Apply Texas. Great. Awesome. Well, we hope throughout this presentation, we're able to bump you up the notch. So I am going to transition over to Molly.
Thank you, Andrea. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for having me here today. I'm excited to walk you through My Texas Future. So My Texas Future is a website. You can access it at mytexasfuture.org. And at its core, it is allowing users to explore their interests and regional in-demand careers. So that regional part is a really important part of this tool. It really allows a user to kind of focus in based on where they are in the state of Texas. Identify programs that can lead to careers of interest, and then also can access step-by-step college and career action plans. These action plans really break down the steps into digestible bites, is how I like to think of it, as students are going through their college and career journey. So here's a look at our vision for My Texas Future. So when we started designing My Texas Future, we wanted it to be for all Texans. Last year, we launched My Texas Future for working age Texans. So this was for an audience that they wanted to upskill or reskill. Perhaps they were looking to get a certification. Maybe they already have their associate's degree and wanted to then go on and earn a bachelor's degree. The main feature of the working adults is also that it allows them to directly connect with institutions once they find that institution that they're interested in, to create a seamless process with re-enrollment. Then this spring, we've been working on streamlining the planning and application process for secondary students. So throughout this, I want to emphasize that there are two separate experiences within My Texas Future. So we're going to talk more about that in detail as we go through this presentation. But our vision for My Texas Future is that it is a one-stop shop for all college and career planning, regardless of where you are in that journey, whether you're in 7th grade or 45. It's there to help you re-engage or launch into a college experience. So what does it look like when you log in? So you can see, like I said, there are two distinct experiences. So when you go to mytexasfuture.org, you have the option to create an account. And when you go to create that account, the very first thing you're going to see is what's here on this screen. If we want to make sure you're going to the experience that is going to best serve you. We're not going to serve a 7th grader in the same way that we serve an adult. We're not going to speak to them in the same way. We're not going to use the same examples. And so this first part of creating your account is just making sure that we're taking you to the right part of the website. If we have any middle school teachers on here, just something I wanted to note is that while My Texas Future starts in the 7th grade, we do have a restriction that a student needs to be 13 or older in order to create an account. I just say this from experience because my 7th grader didn't turn 13 until the end of this year. So just something to keep in mind if you start using this in the middle school, that there is that 13-year-old barrier there. Okay, so this is giving you a glimpse of for our college or adult students. We recognize that there are a lot of people on the call who may work with college access networks that are working with an older population. So we kind of think of this as, making sure that you're directing them to the right place that's going to speak to them and meet them where they are. So for our adult learners, we're asking very similar questions to our secondary students. What are you interested in? Where are you on your current path, and where do you hope your future takes you? It allows them to, on their journey through My Texas Future, they can compare different earnings in different regions. They can explore different ways to pay for school and create a plan. And most importantly, they can connect directly with an institutional advisor. This feature you see there on the bottom where it says there's a button for request an advisor appointment. This feature is only available for our adult learners. It allows them to directly reach out to any of our institutions who are My Texas Future partners. So for our secondary students, they also have a very curated journey within My Texas Future, but it's really tied to their grade level. So each grade level, we have grade level specific starting in 7th grade through the 12th grade. They can navigate there across the top. You can see the navigation across the top really takes them through that journey, all the way from exploring their interests to succeeding in college. They're also able to explore different career clusters. And then along the way, we're also introducing them to Apply Texas. So you can see here we have an indicator that lets them know that this is an Apply Texas question. It just starts to demystify that college application process by seeing like, oh, these are the types of things that you're asked in Apply Texas. So once our users have let us know that they're navigating the site as a secondary student or an adult learner, they're given the opportunity to create a profile. The profile also you can also create your own profile and navigate the site as one of your students might. So if you plan on using this with your students, feel free to create a profile as a secondary student. You can still provide your birth date, and it doesn't prevent you from which site you go into. So one of the features across My Texas Future is the ability to favorite items in the site. And when you favorite an item, it then saves it to your profile. So you can go back and revisit that favorite. So on here, we're showing you in the Career Explorer, how you can favorite different careers that you're interested in. This is an example for search results on accountants and related services. And you can see that on these careers, we're providing them with information on average salary. Also in other favorites, you can learn information about tuition, learning format, and time to graduation. This one, so again, this is just another example of how you can favorite different programs. So now we're in our Program Explorer. Again, they can work their way through My Texas Future, starting with figuring out what they're interested in, learning about different careers. And then once they've identified those careers, they can move into the Program Explorer. The Program Explorer also allows them to favorite certain programs, again, and gives them more detailed information about what type of experience they will have at that specific institution and in that specific program. And the same thing, the favoriting continues with our articles. We have articles that are really curated for and meets the user where they are. And so again, this allows that if they are reading something and they're like, ooh, I want to kind of save this for future reference. A lot of our articles and content has steps and information links out to the websites that they would need in order to complete certain steps. So it's a really easy way that when they're reading any content on My Texas Future, they can go ahead and favorite it, and then it's stored right there in their profile. So when they come back, it's right there for them. So really creating a culture within My Texas Future that college and career planning is an ongoing process. We all know that what we wanted to be in 7th grade is not necessarily what we are as an actual professional, but allowing students to track that journey through favoriting and then through revisiting. So let's take a moment to remember what it was like to start dreaming about what you wanted to be when you grow up. So we are going to go and take the career interest quiz. The career interest quiz is a shortened version pulled from ONET, used. So it's based on our ONET career quiz. You can complete it though in 5 minutes. So unlike some of the other career interest quizzes that are out there, it's very short and succinct. It allows our users to go back and revisit their interests time and time again. It's something that we encourage users to do over and over again. So at the beginning of every year, maybe twice a year when they are in the middle school and early high school phases, as interest and exposure to careers are constantly changing. So I'm going to take a break. You can use that QR code on your screen to take the career quiz. If you want to take it on your desktop, you can go to mytexasfuture.org, and then you would be able to just navigate directly to the career quiz. Please keep in mind that the mobile experience is a little bit different than our desktop experience. So if you do it on your mobile today, I encourage you to go back and do it on your desktop. It's a much more robust experience on the desktop. Lauren's also dropped, thank you, Lauren, for dropping the direct link to the career quiz in the chat. So if you wanted to take it from your desktop. And so as you go through that, if you want to then share out your interest quiz results in the chat, tell us, what did you find interesting? What did you find maybe that there was missing? One thing about our products here at Texas OnCourse is we're constantly evolving and changing to meet the needs of our users. So we're always happy to hear and learn about what feedback you would have about any of the features of our products. So as you're finishing up the career quiz, again, feel free to add those results into the chat. Also, if you have any comments or just reactions, feel free to add those in the chat. Richard, I see that you had a question here. Can advisors and counselors gain access to students' work plans as they build them? Not now, but we definitely see that it would be really helpful if there was a way for counselors and advisors to have access to the work that their students is doing. So as of right now, it's not possible, but students can print their profile and share it as either a PDF or just physically printing it. So at this stage in the development, there's not that feature, but it's definitely on our radar as a useful feature. Not surprising that someone got human services, education and training. Those are the ones that I would expect this group to come out on top. For the sake of time, let's go ahead and move on. So you can see that the results of the career quiz, it lets students understand about career clusters and endorsements. Endorsements, you're only going to see it on the K-12 side of My Texas Future. Endorsements are not part of the adult learner part, just because that is not of use to those individuals. We always ask, My Texas Future is always kind of taking that stance of, we want to start with the end in mind when we're planning. So really expanding what their interests are and then narrowing it down. So what are the potential careers? Then really exploring specific careers and then narrowing it down once you've identified a few career paths, seeing what institutions offer the educational path to get to that career. So in the beginning, I talked about the career action plans. So you can see this is an example of the 11th grade career action plan. This is just the first 2 steps. All of the career action plans are broken down by grade and then further broken down by semester. This is allowing students to use the action plans to meet certain milestones. It also helps them not feel overwhelmed. So really making sure that anything we're asking them to do feels reasonable within the time frame that we put it in. It also allows them to either work ahead or get caught up. All of our action plans are available to all students. So even if they have identified that they have moved into the 11th grade, they can go back and look at the 7th grade one to see, what maybe if they just started using My Texas Future. So it really, again, it allows them to track their progress and really helps take any feelings of college and career planning of being overwhelming into these bite-sized pieces. Okay, so how do we encourage exploration within My Texas Future? I'm going to walk you through the Career Explorer. So we talked about the Career Explorer when we were talking about favoriting. So again, you can favorite any careers, you can favorite any programs, and favorite any articles. The Career Explorer, once you take the career quiz, you can start exploring different careers within the career clusters or endorsements that were surfaced. You can filter careers by county, by career cluster, by salary. They allow you to compare careers and also view more details about the careers. So as you can see, each box allows the student to see salary, degree needed, projected growth, and the knowledge needed to be successful within that career. So you can compare up to 3 careers. So as they start adding careers, they can compare them. Here's an example of a career comparison, and it breaks down both careers in a simple and easy to read and understand format. You can also then see there at the top where you can add a career, where you could add up to, like I said, up to 3. So this one is just showing 2, but you can compare up to 3 different careers. And it really allows a student to understand side-by-side comparisons of the different job titles that they are interested in. Okay, so the Program Explorer. So as we again walk them through from career interest into the Career Explorer, so they've identified a few careers that they're interested in, they can then start exploring what programs allow them to achieve that career. So the Program Explorer is where students can start to look for schools that offer the programs they want. They can search specifically by program, school, degree, and location. On the K-12 side of My Texas Future, we also allow them to learn more about endorsements. So this can be really helpful as they start to align their career with their chosen endorsements. So this is just more expanded content on what we have around endorsements. Okay, so that concludes my preview of My Texas Future. We do want to kind of give you an eye as to what are the upcoming improvements that we anticipate having in the future. We really want to stress that My Texas Future, we wanted to make it a one-stop shop for students, that they can start and re-enter My Texas Future at all different career phases, college and career phases throughout their lifetime. It's something that they can start using in middle school, jump back in high school, jump back in while they're in college. We have those curated experiences. In the future, our first update is that we will eventually be integrating My Texas Future with Apply Texas. This feature is not yet available, but in its final state, as you saw when a question was indicated as an Apply Texas question, in the future, this information will then pre-populate in Apply Texas. That is not available right now, but right now it does give them that glimpse as to this is what a college application looks like, and these are the types of questions you'll have to answer. So it really will allow them to kind of get a head start on that college application. So it's not as overwhelming when they start that in their junior or senior year. So this is mainly what we want to leave you with today is that we know students are always changing their minds. And My Texas Future is built for that. It's built for them to continue to revisit their career quiz, revisit the Career Explorer, revisit the Program Explorer. They can use it to collect their ideas so that as they're applying for college, they can look back and see where they came from and all of the different ideas and changes that they've gone through. So we hope that you will join us in using mytexasfuture.org with your students. And I will now pass it over back to Andrea.
Thank you, Molly. Yes, and if you guys have any additional questions, I see some popping in. We'll definitely have some time in the Q&A session for that to make sure that we're addressing all of those. Okay, so let's talk about Apply Texas. Is a centralized online application. For those of you that aren't familiar, but I saw some of you guys said that you were experienced, so that's awesome. So it allows students to apply to multiple institutions within the Texas higher education. So this is just a single application that streamlines that application process and just really makes the whole submission process a little simpler. Especially for transcripts and essays. So before Claudette, well, actually, we're going to skip this part because we already answered this. So Claudette's going to go ahead and talk about Apply Texas timeline.
Thank you, Andrea. So as many of you know, Apply Texas has been around for a very long time and has a long history. The Apply Texas system first opened in 1998 for first-year applicants. That was over 25 years ago. By fall of 2000, the program expanded to include other four-year application types that included returning student and international applications as well. This is also when the administrative site for institutions and help desk were developed. By 2007, the 2-year and scholarship applications were added. And in 2008, the Apply Texas Counselor Suite, where most of you are probably familiar, that was when it was developed. Apply Texas continued to evolve, and in 2012, FAFSA filing status data was added to the Counselor Suite. And in 2021, there were updates to the administrative site for institutions. In that same year, a new and modernized application suite became available. So it was not too long ago that it was upgraded. We are continuing to enhance the Apply Texas system, and we will be launching a redesigned Apply Texas in July 2024, which is just right around the corner. So as part of the presentation today, I'll be providing an overview of what the new Apply Texas system will look like. There will be additional webinars that will highlight the changes to the Apply Texas application and the Counselor Suite in greater detail in the future. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is going to be the new look and feel for Apply Texas. For a user who is coming to Apply Texas for the first time, this is the home page that they'll see. The home page consists of 5 primary sections. The first is an introductory section, which provides an overview of the Apply Texas application. It explains how Apply Texas works and highlights some of its benefits. The How Does It Work section in the middle outlines a step-by-step process that a user can expect to go through when they're applying to schools. The steps give really a clear understanding of the application process. As the user scrolls down that home page, the user can see Explore Your Options section, which presents an understanding of the available application types. For example, a first-year application, transfer, graduate, or returning student application. And there are also resources available to help the user explore college and career options, including a lot of those links to the My Texas Future site that Molly shared. From the homepage, the user can also create a free account, or they can log in if they already have an account. Once the user creates their account, they'll be taken to this Welcome to Apply Texas screen. This is the first step in the onboarding or screener flow. At the top of the page, there is information that welcomes the user to Apply Texas and congratulates them on signing up. There is information for the user to go to My Texas Future to explore those degree programs in the Program Explorer and compare career options before they get started in Apply Texas. That'll open in a separate tab so that they can do this without losing their place in the application. 3 primary steps are outlined here so that the user knows what's to come. The first step is finding the right application or application type. This step will take the user to an application screener that will help the user know which application that they need to complete. Every student will need to complete the application screener step before they can move on to step 2. The second step is to complete these core questions. And the core questions are a common set of questions that are used to apply to multiple schools. The third step is where the user will select the school or schools that they intend to apply, and they'll answer those school-specific questions or essays. In addition to these steps, the page also notes a few key items for the user to remember as they are getting ready to complete their application. For instance, like gathering recommended materials and carefully reviewing their information while they complete the application. From here, a user can also go directly to a dashboard or set up or go back to start step 1, which is finding that right application type. So let's say that the student has already finished step 1 and which is the application screener questions. They'll arrive at this page. The next step is answering these core questions, which is what you see here. In the new application, the questions have been reorganized into a more logical sections for users as they're going through that application process. So the questions are broken into core questions and what we call core extended questions. These core questions are those that are consistent across all application types. And when I say all application types, I mean like the returning student or an international application, different application types. There are 9 application types currently. So that's when I talk about application types, that's what I mean by that they're consistent across all of those application types. Core extended questions are questions that are generally fall into the same categories as core questions, but are more specific to a particular application type, like a freshman application or an undergraduate application versus a transfer application. The questions are set up in 4 primary sections here on the left side of the screen, and they include an About You section, a Household section, Education and Testing, and Activities and Achievements. Each of these sections will begin with an overview page This one you'll see the About You section overview. This page demonstrates the section overview for the About You section that outlines what the applicant can anticipate within that particular section, and it lists any documents that they may need to have ready to complete this section. On the screen, it gives you an idea of the types of questions a student can expect, and also ask about, their name, their contact info, just to kind of prep them for the questions to come. On the bottom of the page, the applicant can go back or move forward by clicking the Next button. The applicant can save and come back later as well. One important feature is the application will automatically save user data for any given page every 5 minutes. Additionally, if someone attempts to navigate outside of these core questions or exit the application, there's functionality that will give the applicant an opportunity to save before they leave. You can see at the top of this page the other parts of the application, including a dashboard section and a school search page. This is the dashboard view. There are a few different versions of the dashboard view depending on where the applicant is in the application process. For example, if the applicant has not yet completed the very first step, there will be a prompt to explore programs and to complete that first step 1 to find that right application, and it would just update according to the next step in the process. This specific dashboard view demonstrates when the applicant has completed all the steps. They started an application and they selected the schools where they intend to apply. At the top, there is an overview of the application progress or status of the for the applicant that shows what open applications they have or what is in progress, submitted applications, and then it will also demonstrate which applications may have expired, meaning that the deadline for that application had already passed. This view shows 3 open applications, and it also lists the 3 different institution cards with the information that needs to be completed. When a student completes this section, it will have a green check mark. I know it might be tiny on your side, but there's a different green check marks that'll indicate when they've completed each of those steps. Thank you. Also, clicking on the 3-dot menu on the institution card will display a drop-down menu. The menu will have an option to delete the application as well. The applicant can also start a new application from this dashboard. After the application's been submitted, the user will receive a congratulatory message that all steps have been completed, and the page will outline the required next steps that they need to take in the process. A lot of those steps happen outside of the application process, so we've identified them here. The steps prompt the user to pay the application fee, submit any transcripts, and submit test scores to complete their application. So it's a good reminder that this does not end the application process, but they do need to submit additional materials. Applied Texas will not be processing payments moving forward, so there is no payment collection step. The page provides information to the user on what the application fee is, if it exists, and then it'll provide information about what credit cards that institution accepts, if any, and then the ability for the user to indicate if they plan to pay via credit or debit card, or if they plan to request a fee waiver. The ability to request a fee waiver is configurable by institutions, as well as it'll also provide additional information that may be needed to be collected to support that fee waiver request. So if the institution wanted to add a specific question related to the fee waiver request, that would show up on this page here. The process of payment will be handled by each institution according to their processes. So this is a big change in process from our current Applied Texas. So as a reminder, please inform your students the application will be submitted, but not complete until the payment is received. So that's an overview of the new Applied Texas. As we mentioned, there will be additional trainings and webinars that will highlight other key features, but I will now go ahead and turn it back over to Lauren.
Thank you so much, Claudette. That was awesome. I hope you guys love that overview of Apply Texas. So we want to hear from you guys. After everything that you've heard about My Texas Future and Apply Texas, I want you to envision how My Texas Future and Apply Texas integration can help support student success within your district, within your organization, just your students overall. You can answer in the chat, and we would just love to hear how you think this can help your students. Let's see. Seems easier to navigate. Love that feedback, Terrell. Thank you. We do see questions in the chat, and we will get to all of those questions during the Q&A. So that is absolutely fine. I saw your question, Regina. And streamlining the process, yes, very user-friendly, excellent. I love this feedback, guys. This is great. Helpful for students as they wait to meet with a career counselor. Excellent. The welcome page gives good expectation and what to prep for. I love that as well. Allows
Lauren,
students
I
to-
wanted to jump in about the transcript question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so great question about the transcript. So this team is putting together a specific training around the new Apply Texas transcript option. So just so everyone is clear on this call, it's going to, the student can request their transcript within Apply Texas. That request goes to TREX, so the Texas Records Exchange. I forgot exactly what TREX stands for. It goes there, and whoever is your person who transmits transcripts on behalf of students within TREX. So some ISDs, that's a registrar. Others, it's high school. It's the counselor, and so you will still have the ability to review those requests and send those. The student is just asking for the transcript to be sent in Apply Texas.
Excellent. Thank you, Molly. Yes, guys, stay tuned for all of the awesome trainings that we're going to have coming up, and we're really going to do a deep dive into that specifically. So definitely stay tuned with everything that we're going to have coming up. So thank you all so much for your awesome feedback on this question. We love to hear what you guys have to say. So this next slide is a great.
Really quick, Lauren, there's a question about, does MTF guide students in the exploration of transferability and applicability when choosing dual credit or AP classes? That is a great question. Join us next year when we start talking about a new tool that we are developing called Map My Path, which will do exactly that. It will really help a student understand how dual credit or AP credit will work towards a specific degree plan. So you are literally just following right along with our next product launch. So stay tuned for more information on that next year.
Excellent. Thank you, Molly. Yeah, we're really excited about Map My Path. So that's awesome. But yeah, guys, if you scan this QR code, you're going to have immediate access to this great flyer that just gives more information about each of these different platforms. This is a great flyer to have in your office, in the hallway, in the counselor lounge, or wherever you feel like you want to put this, but it's just a great snapshot. We'll also share this flyer in our resource document, which we'll have in the follow-up email and later on in our presentation. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about our bright ideas for today's session. So we're really excited to showcase our bright ideas, and this is something new that we started this semester because we want to hear from you guys, and we know that y'all want to hear from each other. So we started to ask the question during the registration process for our webinars. And for today's session, we specifically asked, how do you introduce your students to Apply Texas? And guys, we cannot thank you enough for all of the amazing responses that we received. We love looking through those and listening to what y'all have to say. And then we kind of pull some out and share those with in our sessions. So we realized after going through all of y'all's responses that counselors, educators, and advisors introduce Apply Texas in 3 major ways. During dual credit advising and registration sessions, introducing juniors to essay questions in the Apply Texas platform, and in classroom sessions with seniors to launch that application season. So let's break these down just a little bit more. So the first bright idea that we're going to talk about is in dual credit advising and registration sessions. And Allison Jasso, the coordinator of guidance and counseling with Brazosport ISD, said that most of my students are introduced through our dual credit program. Thank you so much, Allison, for your bright idea. We really appreciate it. So with that in mind, we have a couple of recommendations. And the first one is just working with teaching and advising staff who support those dual credit students. It's a great opportunity to introduce students during that time and working with those staff to the college application process. So they have an idea of what that will look like when it comes time for them to apply. That second recommendation that we have is embedding Apply Texas into the dual credit course selection process. Again, this is a great time to talk about how those dual credit classes, taking those courses, are going to benefit them in high school, in college, and what that could mean. Well, it'll benefit them in high school as well, but what it means when they do go to college and already have that college credit, right? So the last recommendation that we have for this bright idea is engaging local community college staff by inviting them to application workshops or presentations. This is a great way to get them involved in the process, have them walk around the room, answer any questions that they might have, and just talking about that application process and Apply Texas. Our second bright idea is introducing juniors to the Apply Texas platform and the essays. This is a great one. Christina Perez, a school counselor with Lakeview Centennial High School, said that Apply Texas is introduced second semester of their junior year during a workshop. Excellent. Thank you so much, Christina. This is a great, bright idea. We really appreciate your feedback. So some of the recommendations that we have to go along with this bright idea are working with your junior teachers to jumpstart academic resumes and essays for Apply Texas, so that by the time those juniors are a senior, they already have maybe a rough draft of one of those essays ready to go. They already have that resume that can really help them, create their Apply Texas application. So they kind of already have it. The second recommendation is provide students with the My Texas Future Career Interest Survey to help them learn about various career paths. Now, all of you guys had the benefit of taking the Career Interest Survey, so you know how quick it is, you know the kind of impactful results that you're going to get, so that your students can start to explore those different career options and opportunities, right? So a great one to do there. The third one is utilize the resources and materials in the Texas OnCourse Apply Texas module. We're going to talk a little bit more about this specific one in a couple slides because we're working on that one right now. But this is a great area to just dive into and pull out some of those resources that you can use in your own educational practice. So our third and final, I guess last but not least, right, is senior classroom presentations. And this one was from April Gonzalez, a school counselor with Round Rock ISD. And she said that Apply Texas is introduced during senior presentations. So this was actually the most popular bright idea. A lot of you guys introduce Apply Texas through senior classroom presentations. So thank you so much, April. We really appreciate it. So some of the recommendations that we have for this one is working with senior parents to provide Apply Texas support beyond the classroom. If you have a College 101 night, or if you have coffee with the principal, you can use those opportunities to introduce families, parents, guardians to Apply Texas so they can be aware of what their student is going to be working on and going through for the college application process. That second bright idea is encouraging your students to opt into ADVI, which is Texas's favorite college advising chatbot, to support students through the application process. So seniors can opt into ADVI through the Apply Texas application. It's just a quick click of a button, and they will have 24/7 access to college advising support. So they can ask a question specifically about the college application process, financial aid, ask that question to ADVI, and they'll get an immediate response. Now, the thing that sets ADVI apart is that we have a team of college advisors here at the coordinating board supporting ADVI. So if your student has a more detailed question, their question will get escalated to our college advisors, and those college advisors will get back to the student as soon as they can. We are all huge supporters of ADVI here at Texas OnCourse. We love it. The last one that we have for our bright idea is sharing the Search for Schools feature on Apply Texas to help students orient themselves. This is a great feature within Apply Texas. If you have a student who's not sure where they want to go, what they want to do, this Search for Schools feature is a great place for them to start. They can start looking at the different schools, you know, based on location, major, degree, whatever it is, so they can get an idea of where exactly they want to apply. Now let's look at our Texas OnCourse Academy Spotlight. So for those on the webinar who are new to Texas OnCourse, the Academy is our online professional resource for college and career advising. Now it is free for all Texas educators, and it will help you prepare any student for their post-secondary options. So to get to the Academy, you go to the texasoncourse.org website. From there, you click on the Tools drop-down menu and you select Texas OnCourse Academy. This screen will pop up and you click on that pink button. I hope you guys can see it okay, where it says Educators Register or Log In. From there, you can either log into the Academy with your existing account or register for one. So later on this month, you will find an updated Apply Texas module. And this is exactly what I was talking about in that bright idea previously. So the Apply Texas module is located in the admissions and application process course. So you're going to go to that course and you will find the Apply Texas module within that. So we have new content and resources that will be available to really walk school counselors and advisors through the new Apply Texas platform. And we're going to have slideshows that you can then download and use in your advising sessions. So a lot of great resources that will be specifically for this new Apply Texas look. So you can also start to familiarize yourself a little bit more, just do like more of a deep dive with My Texas Future by completing one of our newest Texas OnCourse Academy modules. So if you go to the Holistic Advising course, which is located, you can locate the My Texas Future module and access a ton of resources on My Texas Future and just find an overview of some of those features that we went through today. So that's another great way to kind of do a deep dive of My Texas Future. So we also want to just point out some of the other professional learning sessions that we have coming up, because we still have a couple months left within the school year. I know it's coming to an end. I think AP testing is happening right now in high schools, but it's almost over. But coming up next week on Thursday, May 23rd at 10 a.m., we have another session where we're going to highlight My Texas Future and Apply Texas. Then we have our coffee chat. Our coffee chat is an extension of our professional learning webinars. They're just a quick 30 minutes for you to come and collaborate, ask questions, and talk to each other about the tools and resources that we share within our webinar or any other college advising topics that you want to cover. Then in June, on the 11th, we're very excited to have My Texas Future launching direct admissions for Texas students. So if you want to learn more about that one, definitely encourage you to sign up. That's going to be a really fabulous session where we are going to talk about direct admissions and what that is going to look like going forward. So get excited for that one. So we always like to keep you guys informed, and a great way to just learn about all of the upcoming sessions, webinars, coffee chats that we have, we really want to encourage you to follow us on Instagram at Texas OnCourse. We are always posting about our sessions, and you can actually register for them directly from Instagram. So definitely, follow us so you don't miss any of the great things that we have coming up. And then as promised, y'all, we always try to think of everything that you might need for our session. So here is our wonderful, lovely resource document. If you scan that QR code, you're gonna have immediate access to this document. We'll also send it in the follow-up email. But from here, you can link directly to the Academy. You can link to the Texas OnCourse website, My Texas Future, Apply Texas, ADV. We also have a copy of this slide deck in there so that you can access that immediately, as well as our contact information. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to answer them then if you think of something later. With that, we are going to open it up for questions and comments. I think we have been answering some of those already, but we can go ahead and start making sure we get all of y'all's questions answered. And then we also, of course, appreciate your feedback. We're just going to leave this up on the screen while we get to your questions. If you don't mind taking a brief, like 2 minutes to complete this survey, it's really quick. We would really appreciate it. We do take all of your feedback into consideration. So let's see, we'll start to look for some of those questions. I don't want to miss any. So I'm going to go back into the chat. Okay. I don't know if this one was answered, but one of the questions that we had is from Gemma. Is the income wage salary coming from the BLS in regards to the connection of the program career interest? So Gemma, I'm not really sure what the BLS is. If you could expand.
Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. So just a common question that we got during the course of this is, where are we pulling our salary and wage information from? Because My Texas Future is a Texas specific tool, we are using Texas Cruise data in order to populate all of the wage and salary information. This is how we get the data to be geographically specific by county and or zip code.
Excellent, thank you. And then let's see, we had a question.
We do have a question from Dulani. They're not seeing the links to so Dulani, Jared's placing all of the links whenever we post a QR code. He's placing them into the chat. So if you click in the bottom of your screen and select the chat button, you should be able to scroll through and see all of the different links that Jared has been posting. These will also be sent out over email. Is that correct, Lauren?
Yes.
So in the follow-up email, you'll also get all of the direct links.
Excellent. We had another question. Will students who already have an Apply Texas account carry over to this new platform?
Oh, great question. So when the new Apply Texas launches, yes, if they are actively working on an application, and they have an account in the current Apply Texas system, when the new Apply Texas system launches, they will need to create a new password. So for the first time they log in, once the new system launches, they will be prompted to enter in a new password. But after they do that, as long as they use their same username, which is their email address, create that new password, all of their information will carry over into the new system. So they will not lose any of their progress.
Excellent. And then we have another one. Does MTF guide students in the exploration of transferability versus applicability when choosing? Oh, you did answer that one, Molly.
Yes.
I remember you. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. We have another one from Elena about, is My Texas Future available in Spanish? At this point in time, it is not, but we are feverishly working towards getting My Texas Future offered in other languages. Spanish is definitely top of our list.
Excellent. Don't think I see any more in the chat that we've missed. I think we've addressed everything. Anybody else with any other questions that you want to add to our Q&A or our chat real quick? With a couple minutes. Oh, I just realized we're actually over time by a minute. Any other questions?